Nas.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على عبده ورسوله نبينا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين وبعد السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته. We proudly present a Tasfiya with Tarbiyah, the lost legacy. At Tasfiya wa Tarbiyah, this great legacy, how is it lost? How can we recover it? Bi-idhnillahi subhanahu wa ta'ala. All praises for Allah, the Sublime and the Exalted, for making this easy and simple. This was once a vision, it was once an idea, and alhamdulillah, by His grace, is now a reality. After thanking Him, the Mighty and the Sublime, we thank all of the brothers and the sisters here at the center, at the school, at the masjid, my elder, Imam Abu Muslima, wafaqahu Allah, wa hafidhahu wa rafa'a bih, for allowing us to hold this lecture, this program, and all of the brothers and sisters who cooperate and work with him. Last but not least, the brothers and the sisters, those who came in physical presence, physical attendance, we thank you for coming out in the inclement weather on a Saturday to listen, to benefit, to participate, and to show your support in all of the different types and all of the different ways. Also, all of the brothers and the sisters, hadith disciples and hadith disciples online, whether they be in the UK, Canada, whether it be in the continent of Africa, whether it be in Hong Kong or Pakistan, or Germany, Sweden, wherever you are watching, listening, and benefiting, and also showing your support, we thank you. And we show you our gratitude and our appreciation. The program is very simple and it's very basic. We want to talk about something of old and how does it pertain to that which is going on right now in the modern times. We want to talk about that which we've lost, but not get stuck in the past, and not to become delusional about the future as well, with regards to a Tasfiya and a Tarbiyah. When we have concepts, ideas, practices, statements, hadiths, rulings, customs and cultural things that we do as revert Muslims, second, third, fourth generation Muslims, as Muslims who migrated from the Middle East or from another country, from the sub-Indian continent, from West Africa. Many things that we do and we've been doing aren't necessarily correct. They aren't necessarily authentic. Many ways that we look at Islam and many aspects of Islam is not actually scientifically proven. So how do we get rid of these bad ideas and these incorrect concepts? How do we shake these bad habits that we think and we've thought are a part of Islam and the pure teachings of Islam? And that is the concept of a tasfiyah, to purge, to sift out, to weed out, to get rid of that which is incorrect, to remove that which needs to be removed, of belief, of practice, of character, and the list goes on. And after we purge, after we sift out, after we weed out, that's not enough to get rid of. It's not enough to say it's incorrect. It's not enough to say that that's haram. It's not enough to say this is a bid'ah. It's not enough to say that you can't do this, that the hadith was never authentic. The Muslims did this as a cultural practice. It was from the teachings of Muhammad. That's not enough. That's only half of the battle. Then we have much more hard work in front of us, and that is a tarbiyah, to cultivate. After we remove the weeds, now we have to grow the flowers and the good plants for the garden. Now we have to learn what is correct, what is authentic, what is valid. Now we must take the hadiths that are authentic after we've removed the misunderstanding and the false application of those authentic hadiths and apply them in an authentic way, in a proper way. And that is a tarbiyah. So it's a 1-2 punch. And bi-idhnillahi ta'ala, when both of them are used correctly and thoroughly, there will be happiness, success, and prosperity for the Muslims in this life, in the grave, and when they are resurrected. So that is what the conference is about. That's what the workshop is about. A tasfiya and a tarbiyah. To clean, to remove, to purge, and then to fill the void. To cultivate ourselves, to educate ourselves, our families, our children, our neighbors, our co-workers upon that which is from the pure teachings of Islam. So bi'idhnillahi ta'ala, our first speaker is a good friend of mine, a colleague of mine, a few years older than me. He's from West Philadelphia as well. A brother that I've known for many years, before I was studying, before he was studying. And alhamdulillah, I can say this, one of the most pleasant brothers that I know. One of the most pleasant brothers that I've ever met in my life. And that is Abu Sajid Saeed, a graduate, walillahi alhamd, from the prestigious University of Al-Qura in the sacred city of Mecca. And he's going to talk to you, by Allah's permission, how we lost this legacy. Something that was considered to be a staple concept of the da'wah to the sunnah. Calling the people to the sunnah, to knowledge, to ilm, to the way of the pious predecessors. There wasn't a lecture, there wasn't a book or tape, except that you heard Tasfiya and Tarbiyah. But then that became lost. The people stopped talking about it. They stopped mentioning it. It lost its importance. It lost its main role. So that is what he's going to speak to you about, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. How did we lose out? How did gold turn into copper? And then bi'idhnillahi ta'ala, we have the second talk, which is also done by a good friend of mine and a colleague of mine, who's more than a few years older than me, my brother in Islam, Abu Abdurrahman Farooq Post, who's also a graduate from the illustrious University of Al-Qura in the sacred city of Mecca. And now, alhamdulillah, he's currently working on his PhD. We ask Allah Azza wa Jal to give him success. We ask Allah Azza wa Jal to give him divine inspiration and to give him the necessary drive and the necessary steam to finish that noble cause. And he's going to talk about purity of theory. Purity of theory. Meaning, what exactly is tasfiya and what exactly is tarbiyah? Because many of us, we understand the importance of the two, but we don't understand the concept, the actual authentic way, theoretically, not practically, of what is and what isn't tasfiya and tarbiyah. Does it mean that everything in this book is wrong, has to be discarded? Does it mean that when you accept Islam, you have to get rid of all of your cultural practices? Is that what tasfiya and tarbiyah means? Does it mean that you only stay in the masjid and Islam only pertains to your physical appearance? Many of us have these misconceptions with regards to tasfiya and tarbiyah. So he's going to talk about purity of theory, the correct theory of tasfiya and tarbiyah. Then after that, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala, we have a talk by another good friend of mine, another colleague of mine. He's a few years older than me as well, and that is brother Abu Isa, walillahi alhamd, who also studied and graduated from that same university. The Meccans are in the house. It's a Al-Qura conference, not a Medina University conference. Okay, it's the third speaker, all coming from Mecca. And Abu Isa, who comes from Queensbridge, New York, he's going to speak about beneficial knowledge and righteous deeds, the pillars of tasfiya and tarbiyah, the main concepts of this main concept, the two guiding principles of these two guiding principles. Tasfiya and tarbiyah is nothing exotic or foreign or romantic. It's beneficial knowledge and righteous deeds, correct ilm and pious action. These are the two main concepts of tasfiya and tarbiyah. But obviously you can't learn what's correct until you know what's correct, in its importance and in its value. And what good is knowledge for you to hoard it if you're not going to implement it and act upon it? And then after that, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala, we have a martial arts demonstration, whereas hadithdisciple is about many different things. And from the philosophy of hadithdisciple is martial arts, and the values and the principles upon which martial science stands, of discipline, of respect, of humility, of hard work, of being mentally, physically, and spiritually strong, and the list goes on. Then after that we have the next talk, which is reconstruction and rehabilitation. Now we've talked about it enough, we've spoken on it. This is a problem, this is what we're lacking, this is what it is. How do we regain our balance? How do we rehabilitate ourselves after we were injured? How do we get back what we previously had? And that talk was supposed to be given by another friend of mine, another colleague, Brother Ali Davis, who's also a graduate from the same university, Qura, but unfortunately he couldn't make it. He apologized to the attendees, he couldn't make it. May Allah Azza wa Jal make his affairs easy. So perhaps, inshallah ta'ala, maybe Sheikh Farouk or Sheikh Abu Sajid or maybe Imam Abu Muslima, maybe one of them, bi'idhnillah ta'ala, could be kind enough to fill that slot. And if not, inshallah ta'ala, time won't be wasted, bi'idhnillah. Afterwards, we have purification of da'if hadiths and opinions by Imam Mufti Muhammad Munir. Unfortunately, I have to speak and you have to listen to me today. And we're going to talk about, inshallah ta'ala, are the effects of weak hadiths, bogus narrations, reports which aren't genuine, and how they stunt, stifle, and how oftentimes, waliyadhu billah, they may cancel the movement of Tasfiya and Tarbiyah because of a narration which is totally weak and inauthentic. That's been attributed to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And perhaps if there's enough time, some of the opinions and the views and practices that were based on those weak and bogus hadiths and how they stunt the Muslim with regards to Tasfiya and Tarbiyah. By Allah Azza wa Jal's permission, the last session will be the panel Q&A, in which all of the speakers will come together and they'll address some of your questions, some of your needs, some of your concerns, whatever feedback that you may have, and the most important issues with regards to the topic of the workshop. Bi-idhnillahi ta'ala. It says here, an extended session for students of knowledge. We pray to Allah and we hope that there will be students of knowledge, inshallah ta'ala, for this extended session. So without further ado, it's no need for me to continue to talk. Thank you very much once again for coming out. May Allah Azza wa Jal give you the reward, and may He also give you the tangible, beneficial information. Jazakumullahu khairan. Without further ado, we will have Abu Sajid commence his session after a brief introduction with regards to the recitation of the Quran al-Kareem. Many of the people of knowledge, when they had different majalis, different sittings and circles and gatherings, they would prefer for the first thing to be done, the words of Allah Azza wa Jal being recited. I believe it's going to be one of the younger brothers who studies here at the center, who volunteered to give you a small, simple, brief recitation of the beautiful words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Jazakumullahu khairan. Once again, may Allah bless you, may Allah reward you well, and may Allah keep all of you safe. The brothers and the sisters who are in attendance, and the brothers and the sisters who are watching worldwide. Assalam, كيف حالك سعيد? How's it going, buddy? Alhamdulillah? Good? Jazakallah khairan. MashaAllah. I believe he's coming, inshallah.